Hi everyone, Erin here. Welcome to what is sort of a different take on our Sunday, garden strolls. We can't stroll around this garden anymore. There's nothing, I have nothing else to show you that we haven't already seen quite a bit already this winter. But we'll do something outside here in the second part of this video. The first part is that I have a couple of announcements and a little bit of viewer mail for the postcard project to share with you. So the first thing is just on the announcements standpoint, I will be at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show, which is February 19th through the 23rd maybe. I will be there speaking on Thursday, February 20th and Friday, February 21st. On Thursday, I'm speaking at the Epic Gardening Small Space Stage, doing a demo on containers. And Friday, I talk at, I think, 1:15, and that's a talk that I'm doing on, what do I call it? I forget what I call it. Boy, great promo for my talk. Anyway, it is about, I can't remember what I called my talk. I know that the word oddball is in it. Anyway, it's a talk about underused plants that you should think about using in your garden, and this includes sort of oddballs and classics that we've just sort of forgotten. So I hope you'll join me for that if you happen to be around. I will put a link in the description. I believe I have a coupon that you guys can use to buy tickets, and I think is a $3 coupon. I also have a very small number of tickets to give away to that. So if you are definitely going to and haven't bought a ticket yet, drop me, tell you what, I think the easiest way to do this rather than to leave a message in this video is to either probably drop me a message on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, try that. So it's at Impatient Gardener on Instagram. Send me a message there. And if I have tickets left, like I said, I think we just get a few. If I have tickets left, I will hook you up with that. So there's that. Okay, let's get to viewer mail. By the way, I hope I get to see many of you. I will announce as we get closer to this if I can figure out a time to have like a little gathering. We'll see how that goes. I'm not quite sure. I've got a lot of things kind of filling up in my schedule at this point, so I'm not quite sure where we're gonna go with that. Here is a postcard though. Pretty. Oh boy. The postcards are getting farther and farther and farther away from my eyes these days. My daughter and husband recently humored me with a visit to the Desert Botanical Garden during a recent visit to Phoenix. It was fun to learn about how plants have adapted to live in the desert and see the beauty of desert gardens. Thank you for sharing your gardens and knowledge. I've enjoyed your YouTube channel for several years, and this is from Carrie. So yeah, I tell you what, desert gardens, especially when you have really no real experience with any sort of desert plants, are outstanding. I can tell there's seeds in this next one. Let's see what we have in here. I'm hearing things shaking. So let's see what we have here. Okay, hello. Oh, these are from Michelle. I don't know if she meant for me to share this or not, but this is Michelle from Gardening TLC channel on YouTube. She did a video. She came up here and did a little video in the garden. I believe she's going to be in Seattle at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show as well. Anyways, she says, I've enjoyed your winter videos. I know you like to grow different vines. I recently got my seed order. I thought I'd send you a few seed packets of a couple to try. The first one is hummingbird Cerinthe, Pride of Gibraltar. I have grown Cerinthe before. I have not grown this specific one. And then the other one is Mina Labada, sounds like a song name, which is Exotic Love Vine. This is interesting. I think this is different from Spanish flag. I'm not sure though. Spanish flag might be another name for the same thing. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, says, hope this note finds you well. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was really nice. Great. I'd love to try those. Thank you so much, Michelle. And then we have this one. And this is somebody who went on a great little trip and has sent the brochure and everything, which is always fun. Oh my. Ooh. There's seeds in there too. Okay. Is there a note? Is there a note? Yes, there is a note. Erin, you mentioned a YouTube video you'd be speaking at the Northwest Flower and Garden Show. Boy, if I had read the mail first, we wouldn't have had to do that first announcement. Okay, so she's talking about when, this is Diane, and she's talking about when she's going to be there, so I will correspond with her about that. My sister lives outside Seattle, so I'm able to visit the area frequently. This past August, I toured the University of Washington Botanic Gardens, which is the location for the Seattle Japanese Gardens. Here's a little brochure for that. Japanese gardens were one of the best I've toured, other than the Anderson Japanese Gardens in Rockford, Illinois. I was able to go to the Anderson Japanese Gardens this past fall and see all the beautiful fall tree colors. Yeah, I'm just going to guess fall and spring, probably the best times to go see Japanese gardens. If you love Japanese gardens, these are the top two in the U.S. Japanese Friendship Garden in Phoenix is also a must-see garden. Enclosed are the postcards from the Seattle Japanese Garden and brochures for University of Washington Botanic Gardens and Anderson Japanese Gardens. Oh, and Michigan, this Diane is who I recognize, whose name I recognize now, is a Michigan State Advanced Master Gardener. So this is the brochure for the Anderson Japanese Gardens, and they have a very nice map in there. This is a very nice brochure. Not all of them are that good. And here's the trail map for the University of Washington Botanic Gardens. Here, on the back, they've got some featured plants there. That one's nice too. And then we have some postcards here. So let me just share the pictures on the postcards here. And then Diane also sent some Nicotiana. Mixed colors of purple, red, pink, and white. All right, here is absolutely gorgeous wisteria. Waterfall with leaves. Beautiful fall color. Some Niwaki. That's garden. Niwaki means garden tree in Japanese. And any tree that's sort of pruned like a giant bonsai, but it's growing in the ground in a garden, that's Niwaki. There are some really good YouTube channels for that kind of stuff. Heron's Bonsai from England, Peter has an excellent channel, which he talks about bonsai and Niwaki and all kinds of things. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, maybe my favorite thing about some Japanese gardens, most Japanese gardens, is the moss. And moss is, and then here is all of them. Moss is maybe the most difficult thing to maintain in a garden. There is a moss gardener in Wisconsin who's quite famous. And I heard him talk once, and he described having to clean the moss. You can't let stuff just lay on it. And it sounded like more work than I was ever interested in, but I do like moss. Okay, thanks everybody for the mail. I know we're kind of in a part of the year here where people aren't traveling, but we've been doing this postcard project where people send in postcards or cards and share some of the inspiration that they saw on a garden that they visited somewhere. I'm happy to keep doing that forever because I think it's great to hear about these and I love sharing these. I always say the best thing you can do for your garden is go to a different garden and be inspired. Okay, we're gonna go outside now and we're gonna do just a little bit of pruning. This is not like gonna be like a pruning video, but like I said, there's no more walking around here. I did prune, I got the pruning bug big time. I don't know, I think it's because there's no snow here this year. It's been cold, but no snow, which is not great. But it's very easy to get at trees right now because there's no snow and the ground is frozen. So it's very easy in terms of that angle of things. So I did go after the grafted willow that is a point because it's right there. I know you guys don't know what that means, but it's the small grafted Salix purpurea that is right off the deck, which I like that tree. It just goes nuts though. So I did a pretty major prune on that last week. Right now, by the way, is a really good time for pruning a lot of woody things, not things that flower in spring, but a lot of trees and shrubs. Good time to prune while things are dormant. I think we're gonna go out there and actually probably do a little bit of work on the ginkgo and maybe a couple other things. We're not, like I said, not a full pruning video, but I'll bring you along to just show you a couple of things. All right, let's go outside. Okay, so the best view of this willow tree is right here. I'll put up a picture that I took before I pruned it. You can see I did a massive pruning. It looks so much better. I don't mind obviously the weeping form is what I like about it, but I don't like when the branches shoot. There's still some little ones left, by the way, that I'll get out of there, but when they shoot straight up, that's not the look I'm going for, and that one just looked like it was having a bad hair day, so it felt good getting that taken care of. Okay, so here is ginkgo gnome, which actually has really good structure. I mean, it's got a nice thick trunk there and really nice structure to it. But I want to see some of that structure. So for the past several years, I've been kind of doing, you know, a little bit of, actually it is sort of Milwaukee-ish style pruning, although you don't typically do that on ginkgos. But trying to sort of clear out the middle a little bit and creating almost little tufts of leaves that are on this ginkgo. So by the way, I planted this thing. It was probably 12 inches tall when I planted it, I think 2015. It's really grown actually really pretty well. More than I would have expected actually, which is part of the reason I also keep on top of this because I actually don't want this to get any taller than what it is right now. So there's not a lot to clean up, but you can see like there are some like longer branches down here. So I'm gonna take care of some of those, and there's a few things that I'll clean up on the other side as well. I've actually found this to be really quite forgiving in terms of me whacking at it. This side of it also seems to get, I must not have done a very good job of getting over here. Now, I have pruned this thing before at totally the wrong time of year when it's been in full leaf. And, you know, I've had several people tell me I'm doing it at the wrong time. They're not wrong. But also sometimes the right time to prune is when you have the pruners in your hand and when you feel like doing it. And it has been none the worse for the wear because I've done that. But this is actually technically a very good time to be pruning this. Okay, it doesn't look a lot different, but I did get some of those tall bits. You know, one thing I found is that they do really respond to pruning by putting up some pretty long growth. So it's not uncommon, I think, for that to happen. Now we have this gem over here. I talk about this tree all the time, and interestingly enough, okay, so this is Aurelia Silver Umbrella. It's a grafted Aurelia, and actually I got this tree the same time I got that ginkgo. I bought both of those from Broken Arrow in the same shipment. Now the grill operator, Mr. Much More Patient, has requested that this branch right here it's a little taller than I thought it was going to be, comes out because it is interfering with the grill. So I'm going to try not to take out this whole branch. I'm going to see if I can get away with just taking this part of it. But let's get a saw up there and see what we can do. I should have done a cut on the bottom first, which is proper pruning. Got it. All right, here's what just came off. It's not small. You don't miss it at all from here, and hopefully that gives us enough. Now, if he still doesn't like, if this still interrupts with the grill, I might have to take that whole branch all the way back to here, but we'll try that and see what happens. I've been looking at this guy. This is Cornus moss. This was a very big specimen that we planted in 2020. We bought it quite large with a very big root ball on it, and it has grown really well. And I was thinking about pruning up from the base a little, but it doesn't really have just a single base. I do see like a crossing branch in there that I might want to clear out, and this little guy over there, but that's probably it. For some reason I was thinking this had like a single base and I could prune it up. By the way, see all the really nice buds on it. They're quite big, actually. I saw somebody cut some of this to bring it in for forcing, and I never thought about that before. Never even occurred to me. Okay, let's go in and at least take out, there's one thing at least that I can see that can come out there. Probably could have brought just the loppers for this. Well, first of all, this guy right here is a bad crossing situation, so I think it's kind of bound to happen a little bit and it'll be okay. But this guy is rubbing big time. I'll show you what this looks like in a second. Can you see right here? This is where this was rubbing on the bottom side of that other branch. And this is what happens when branches rub. And this is right through the cambium layer. And so hopefully what was on the bottom of that, what didn't get the brunt of it, and that this little one did. But that's why crossing branches can be bad. Oh, here's another really bad crossing branch right here. And this has damaged this one over here. I guess I should have been looking for crossing branches in here sooner. I didn't quite realize we had some really bad ones in there. So the other thing that I've been looking at is, and I don't know if you can see it from your angle, but there's this main stem right here. But I don't see any way to cut that out of there without taking a risk of injuring the rest of the trunk. So I think I gotta leave that. More bad rubbers here. Sorry. Rubbing branches. Okay, so there actually were some really bad crossing branches in there that I probably should have dealt with a long time ago, surprisingly so. And probably at some point I should go in there and clean out the tiny little branches that are gonna kind of clog up the inside of this. But for the most part, I got the worst out. And I did cut out a couple of big branches, but let me show you. Some of them did have buds on the end. So I actually am gonna try to cut these off and bring these inside and see what happens when I try to force these. This is basically the very first thing to bloom in my garden. It generally blooms a little bit before forsythia around here usually bloom. So it's a very, very early bloomer. And so we will give it a shot and see if we can force these branches and have anything come of it. Okay, that's it. Casual video. Sorry, we ended up doing more pruning than I thought we would, but you know, once you got the pruners in your hand, it's hard to stop sometimes. Have a great day in your garden. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.